Hey there, Virgos. Welcome to my channel, Twinfinite Divinity Tarot. I hope you're all well. Happy New Year. Um, this is going to be a very abundant year. I already feel it for the collective. Being that it's an 8 year, 8 years all about manifestations coming into fruition. Um, it is also the year of the dragon. And dragons are ethereal and mystical and dreamy, and it's time to dream again and set those intentions for what you want to become possible. I also am going to be doing another subscriber surprise for this month. So if you'd like to be entered in to win, just go to the end of the video and I'll explain how to be entered. I'm going to start with a dragon oracle card, get an overview of what you can expect for the next 3 months or even throughout the year. Let's see. We have got peace. Now this is a beautiful, beautiful card. Peace is important. I would trade so many things for just peace, right? If I have, like, one thing I will say is, like, if I had to live alone the rest of my life, as long as I had peace, I would have everything I needed, right? Because peace is hard to find in a crazy world that's constantly changing, right? Being able to find peace in your daily life is important. So I feel that that could be one of your main focuses this year, is to really bring peace into your life and make the changes necessary in order to have that peace that you're looking for. But let's get some more info and see. Okay. So for January, I have the Page of Earth. And this is about either receiving a new offer, something that at first may not seem like it's everything. It may seem small. But it's the little things, right, that end up bringing us the most joy in the end. If we got everything we wanted, like let's say we just get the Ten of Pentacles out of nowhere, will we appreciate it as much as something that we actually had to work really hard for, right? So there might be an opportunity that you're wanting to start investing into, or a person that you're wanting to invest into in the month of January, some new idea even. It may start out small, but in the long run, if you keep putting in the work, it'll eventually get to where you want it to be. Now, for February, we have the Seven of Air. A lot of people have been getting this Seven of Swords, right? And a lot of the reason we get this is because a lot of times we do things out of what we say is duty or for best intentions. You know, we always have the best intentions, but a lot of times we know that either we're lying to ourselves more than anything by saying, oh, well, I did it with the best intentions. Even that saying says, the path of good intentions lead to hell, basically. And it's hell within yourself, because even though you're trying to help another person, you end up causing a blockage for yourself because you know you should not have interfered in another person's free will. Or it can also be like lying, deceiving thoughts we have within ourselves, fear-based. We're so scared of an outcome that we try to manipulate it to pull it to be our way, and it ends up causing conflict, right? So it's about recognizing these things within ourselves that tell us we're not good enough, or that we're doing it with the best intentions, but really we know that we're just trying to control the situation, basically. Now, in March, I've got the Two of Cups. You could meet somebody that's of like mind. Either this, or you could be balancing out that yin and yang within yourself, the feminine, the masculine, coming into some sort of balance or union within the self. clarifiers to get more information on what these could mean. So, let's see. Yeah. It's kind of like what I said with the 7 of Swords that showed up in the middle. This is the 5 of Wands, 7 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords, right? This is moving away from conflict. This is moving away from people that manipulate situations, or us trying to manipulate situations. This is moving away from choppy waters. And even though we may feel like we're starting new and like all the progress we've made up into this point is useless because now we're this page of earth, right? The page of earth is important because it's grounded. It's not based on, I don't know, like, you're not bringing this baggage with you. It's brand new. So, of course, you're going to have to start new. If you're leaving behind conflict and disagreements and people that like cheating still, right? This is just packing up and only taking what's the most important. So when we do those things, yes, we do have to start new. Yes, it does feel like we're in uncharted territory and we may not know everything that we need to know, but it's moving towards peace, right? So let's see what the 7 of Swords is here. Lots of 7s. You might want to look up the meaning of 777. I've got the Lovers, the Moon, and the 7 of Wands. To me, this is the choices that you've made in love haven't been made with clarity. Something is telling you like the situation is not right, you need to go somewhere else, or something about the way that you see love is distorted. Like the Lovers are underneath your moon, and moon's all about secrets, right? It's about making choices in love. You could feel that you kind of elevated past a situation with a person, or people are coming at you trying to force their will onto you about a situation, like having to keep the peace. You're having to like hide whoever that you have a connection with because something about them just is causing conflict, right, among other people. You could be hiding something from the people that you love. I kind of feel it's a defense mechanism, not letting people into what you built, like your protective bubble. And like I said, like I honestly feel like something about the choices that you're making in love don't feel right with you, but you keep continuing to do it. And that could be just keeping your relationship a secret from others, feeling that you need to defend it, and constantly on edge for some reason is what I'm getting. And I was just telling the Scorpio collective, sometimes we've been through so many things that our choices in love, like what we find to be attractive is that toxic relationship that there was really high highs and really low lows, and you can't connect to another person in the way that you connect to somebody that shoots you up to the highest high, right? But it's like a drug. Drugs aren't good for you, right? But they do give you high highs. Just like people, they can give you really high highs, but that does not mean that they're good for you. So I think that either you're staying in a situation that you know is not good for you, but it gives you those really high highs, But just like drugs, it doesn't do your body good, right? Um, or it could be you feel there's no choice in love because nobody sparks that high in you like that person from the toxic relationship did. And that's where that lie comes in, that we have to feel that in order for it to be love. That wasn't love. That was us craving something that wasn't good for us, because even though we had the high highs, we knew the lows were going to be way worse, right? And each time it get worse and worse and worse, and you're constantly having to like push away things. So I think that there's some healing that needs to be done in the way that you look at love, because you may have either hid your love because you're scared of reaction, or your idea of love is misconstrued because of the relationships that you've had. And you may have tried to move past toxic relationships in the past, and that was your excuse that you never connected with anybody else because they didn't give you that high, right? That high that is considered love. Unconditional love feels more like peace and home, and it doesn't feel like an intense high. Now, there can be really intense passion, but that doesn't mean that it's going to give you that roller coaster effect, right? So, for the Two of Cups, what I have is Justice, the Knight of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. The way to give yourself karmic justice is to see yourself in another person. The karmic justice is knowing that there are loves out there for you that are willing to give you balance. This is about bringing balance into your connections, harmonious, equal give and take, choosing people that are healthy for you, not necessarily an adrenaline rush, right? It's like letting those old ways die in order to embrace something new, embrace the peace, right? Because if you're constantly on the edge, that means that something's not right. Peace comes with doing the right thing by yourself and not having to worry about the consequences, knowing that you're making the right decisions, right? Now, I'm going to use the dark mirror, do some shadow work to see like what is lingering, what might need to be healed, what might need to be looked at during the next couple of months. And only take what resonates to you. So, for the first card I have is Gilded Heart. This happens when we've gone through a lot of things and we put like an ice shield around our heart, right? Get any closer and I'll cut you. I think that you've been through a lot to where you may not even recognize the way that your heart feels when it feels something. Like you may just be kind of cold and detached. And that's something to look at, and I think it has a lot to do with a lot of conflicts, a lot of lies that you've told yourself, a lot of closing off against pain that actually has happened but you haven't wanted to face, or something like that. Now, February I've got Masquerade and Atonement. The Masquerade card to me goes along with people that are constantly giving too much of themselves to people that don't give back. This is looking at where that stems from. Why do you feel that you have to do so much for other people in order for them to love you? It's probably something that happened in childhood. Like if you weren't perfect, you didn't get the admiration from your parents, or if you didn't do X, Y, Z, you didn't get the attention, or you got in trouble, or, and depending on how you grew up, as to how severe that could be, right? The one thing I will say is that with the Atonement card attached to this is basically saying, like, maybe you need to atone to yourself and apologize to yourself for giving away so much of yourself and not filling yourself back up. It has a lot to do with, like, giving that inner child that love that it was missing at one time, showing up for them and showing them that you're making up for all the wrongs that have happened, all of the times that you wish that you would have said no or lost so much and never got it back in return. It's about like facing those things and how to move forward and heal those parts of ourselves that make us feel like we have to do those things, right? Now, I've got artificial heart again. I think that you show up every day and you say, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm fine. You don't go to people and ever tell them your problems. If people ask, you're like, I'm good. You may even show a lot of love to a lot of people, but you don't actually feel good about it because your heart is so cold and detached that joy is a distant thing to you because you're not even sure how to reach it anymore. You're just giving everything to everybody, and eventually it's going to come crashing down unless you like look at these parts of yourself that feel the need to protect your heart, because you know that the choices that you're making are going to get it stabbed again, right? And we can only blame ourselves at some point, because people can do us wrong, yes, and that's not our fault. But at the same time, if we continue to go back and let it happen again and again and again, that causes us to start to get like you're good at goodbyes, or you're good at the hurt, or you're good at the pain. Like, you just become numb to it. But you can't become numb to pain and be open to love. Like, it doesn't work that way. If you close your heart off, it's closed to all aspects, and that's where your peace is going to come in, is when you admit that you haven't showed up for yourself the way that you should have. And maybe it's time to reopen that heart back up, because and I'm not saying this is for everybody, like I said, just take what resonates for you. But a lot of times that's what happens, is we don't want to face the pain, so we just either keep choosing the same things and just stay numb to it, so that it doesn't hurt as bad the next time, right? Good at goodbyes. But now we're going to look into love. See what's coming for you in love. So my advice would be, start eating a lot of really green vegetables and fruits. Maybe do some heart chakra meditations to really open that heart back up, let it defrost. But I'd say don't do that until you're willing to start making healthier choices for your heart, right? Because getting hurt after a long time of being numb doesn't feel great. I know that's what shot me straight into a dark night of the soul, for sure. Is when I let my heart defrost and then got hurt again. Like, that's painful. Now, the card I got for romance says very soon. Clearly decide what it is you want so that it comes to you. And like I said, clearly decide. Are you going to keep repeating cycles where you give everything of yourself and don't expect anything in return? Or are you going to start thinking bigger and dreaming bigger for that great love? The one that shows up for you the way you show up for them. Because very soon it will happen, as long as you put the intention out there that that's what you want. You don't want a roller coaster ride. You want a calm, peaceful love. A one that ignites your soul, not just your loins or whatever. Now I have let your friends help you. Ask support for your friends. This is important. Like I said, you're probably that person that when your friends say, are you okay? You're like, oh, I'm great. All right, how are you today? I'm good. Even though you're dying on the inside, you're still like, I'm good. I'm okay. Right? Because your friends know more about you than you think. And they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to support you and help you and guide you as well. You can't do it alone. I mean, you could. But I would suggest getting to a place of peace before you try to do it by yourself, because people love to help people, and if you're a helper, they'll love to help you in return. But if you're not open to receive it, it's not gonna happen, right? So you have to give people a chance to give back to you. then a lot of times that's a giver's problem, is they don't know how to receive. They're so used to giving and nobody giving it back that they just don't expect anything anymore. They don't need to receive in order to give, but that creates an imbalance, right? So that could be why the Six of Pentacles is here. It's like being not only loving, but being able to receive love in return to balance it. And I've got children. Your love life is being affected by children. This could be something to do with you, something to do with them. But when I get children, mainly I think of the inner child. Something about your inner child needs to be healed or worked on or looked at in order to move past a repetitive pattern that's gone on and on and on, and you've been looking at it like, it's okay, I'm good. But that's because your heart's closed off. You don't really know what's good anymore. You're just sitting there like, it's whatever, I can take it, I'm strong. But if you want peace, these are the steps you're going to have to take in order to get there, right? Alright. Yeah. Alright. So, for January, I've got the cross. The cross is about suffering, loss. Like I said, I think that because of the suffering you've endured, you've been almost like a martyr. Like, I've got a purpose behind this pain. And it's true, you do have a purpose behind the pain. But the purpose isn't to close your heart off to love. The purpose isn't to give from a place where you're not even able to love, right? Saying it's love, but not feeling it. It's willing to bear the cross for everybody and hurting yourself in the meantime. You can't do that. You've got to love yourself. You got to speak life into your life. You got to speak peace. You got to start acting in a place of how you can receive peace, right? And there's some things that you're going to probably have to get rid of. This could be even a mindset. This could be getting rid of the shadows that lurk in the depths, right? Getting rid of like haters and naysayers and people that talk down on you and don't make you feel alive. And then I've got roses in March, so you could receive roses, or maybe these aren't roses, maybe they're tulips. Either way, you could receive flowers in March, or an apology, or some sort of love token to tell you that you're appreciated. This could be you doing it for yourself, showing up for yourself. And which in turn brings in love. Because that's what I'm seeing. That's the justice, is actually being able to give and receive. And finding somebody that's willing to do it as well. Okay. And sorry about my birds. Sometimes they have issues. Sometimes more than others, right? Okay. So, for January, I have discernment. And like I said, you probably have been doing a lot of things with the best intentions, or saying that it's the best intentions. But using discernment, and when we do sacrifice ourselves for others, right? There are times that we can do that. We can be of service to others. But also discerning, like, taking off that blindfold of, I need to do it all the time for everybody. No, you don't. You need to do it for the people that give back to you, because if you don't get it back, you're not giving from a full place, and most people will not accept it as that. It comes off being like, well, they're just a people pleaser, they'll do what I ask, they'll take advantage, whatever. And it might take a lot of will to will yourself out of certain repetitive cycles you've gone through. It might take a lot of power to pull yourself up and ascend to the next level, step through a new door towards peace instead of conflict. But I see it's happening for you. Then I have wisdom and acceptance. This is basically accepting that you pretty much know the truth now of what you need to do. It's gaining knowledge about how to show up for yourself. It's gaining knowledge over the shadows that need to be worked on. And just accepting things for the way that they are. Don't beat yourself up for making wrong choices. Don't beat yourself up for doing things that from your heart you felt like was right, but you sacrificed yourself in the long run. Just accepting things for what it is, and really that's what gets you in touch with the divine, is just accepting that you didn't show up the way you should have a lot of the time, but you did show up all the other times. And even though you came from the best intentions, it wasn't like you did some horrible things or treated people that poorly. Like, you were trying to be a really good person. But the main point is that peace is found within us, and that stillness just with us. It's not external to us, and a lot of people think that their happiness lies outside of them, and so they don't realize that when they give everything away, they take away their own peace, right? So this is acknowledging that and really leveling up. And like, the end of the year was 1 2 3 1 2 3. Normally we're counting down to the new year. We're counting up this time, so I feel like we're really ascending this year, especially going into an 8 year. So it looks beautiful. Might be a little difficult to change some patterns, but in the outcome I see a great love. I see love for self, a true love for others, opening your heart back up, because I feel that you've been disconnected for so long that you've had a hard time feeling anything, right? So I wish you the best of luck, as always. If you want to be entered into my subscriber surprise, all you have to do, be subscribed to my channel, hit the like button, and leave me a comment, whether it be about what resonated with you in this reading, or just in general, your New Year's resolution, or just say, hey girl, hey, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I love you guys to the moon, stars, and Mars, and I always appreciate each and every one of you. So until next time.